What if I told you that the Epstein Affair is far more complex than what meets the eye? Welcome to the labyrinth of intrigue and mystery that is the Epstein Affair, a saga that sprawls across continents, reaching into the heart of power and privilege. Jeffrey Epstein, a financier of unknown origins, managed to weave a web of connections so vast it encompassed presidents, princes, and billionaires. Epstein's rise to prominence is as murky as his beginnings. His alleged crimes are a grotesque abuse of power and wealth. Accusations of sex trafficking and exploitation of underage girls have been levied against him, painting a chilling portrait of a man shielded by his influence. But the story doesn't end there. Epstein's jail time and subsequent death have been shrouded in an aura of uncertainty and suspicion. His arrest in July of 2019 was a shocking development, yet it was his death a month later that sent shockwaves across the globe. Official reports claim Epstein took his own life while in custody, but many have questioned the circumstances surrounding this conclusion. The irregularities are too glaring to ignore. The malfunctioning cameras, the sleeping guards who were supposed to be monitoring him every half an hour, the broken bones in his neck. All these anomalies raise more questions than they answer. The Epstein Affair isn't a simple tale of crime and punishment. It's a testament to the unchecked power of the wealthy and influential, the seemingly untouchable figures who exist in our society. Epstein's connections run deep, and his death has left a trail of questions that demand answers. This isn't just about Epstein. It's about a system that allowed him to flourish, a system that may have protected him even in death. Some say Epstein knew too much, that his death wasn't a suicide but a silencing. So could Epstein's death be a cover-up for something bigger? We're just beginning to unravel this enigma. Stay with us as we delve deeper into this web of power and deceit. In the world of the elite, power is a web that weaves together the highest echelons of society. Now, let's delve into the intricate web of power that surrounded Jeffrey Epstein, a man who, despite his notoriety, managed to maintain connections with some of the most influential figures of our time. Epstein's social circle was no ordinary one. It was a who's who of the world's movers and shakers, from royalty to billionaires, from politicians to celebrities. Epstein was known for his lavish parties, drawing the creme de la creme of society to his mansions and private island. But what was the real purpose behind these gatherings? Was it simply a matter of networking, or was there something more sinister at play? Among Epstein's contacts was none other than the former US President, Bill Clinton. With more than 20 plane trips on Epstein's private jet, the ties between them were certainly more than casual. Then there was Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. His relationship with Epstein has been the subject of much speculation and controversy. And let's not forget about the high-profile lawyers, the business tycoons, the academics, and the list goes on. The question that arises is, how did these connections influence the course of events? Were Epstein's powerful friends aware of his illicit activities? Or even more alarming, were they part of it? And how did Epstein, a man with such a tarnished reputation, manage to maintain these relationships? It's a head-spinning maze of influence and intrigue. The connections are undeniable, but their implications are less clear. Did Epstein's web of power afford him protection? Did it enable him to operate with impunity? Or did it ultimately lead to his downfall? And here's the crux of the matter. Epstein's web of power didn't die with him. It remains as enigmatic and as influential as ever. The threads of this web are still intact, still connected to the highest echelons of society. So we must ask ourselves, could these connections have played a role in Epstein's fate? And perhaps more importantly, could they still be influencing the course of events even now? Epstein's jailhouse death, a suicide or a silencing? This is the question that has sparked countless theories, debates, and even a federal investigation. The circumstances surrounding Epstein's death are riddled with irregularities, inconsistencies, and outright oddities that defy the norms of a typical jailhouse suicide. Let's take a step back and look at the facts we have. Epstein was found dead in his jail cell in the early hours of August 10, 2019. The official cause of death, suicide by hanging. But here's where things get interesting. Despite being on suicide watch just days prior, Epstein was left alone in his cell, with no cellmate and no guards checking on him. These are not standard procedures for an inmate previously on suicide watch. Now, let's dive into the autopsy report. The report states that Epstein had multiple fractures in his neck, including the hyoid bone. Now, this is unusual in hanging cases, especially in suicides. Such fractures are more commonly associated with victims of strangulation. This alone raises a red flag. Furthermore, the noose that Epstein supposedly used doesn't align with the injuries. The noose was made of orange prison bedsheet material, but Epstein's neck injuries were more severe than what this type of fabric could cause. Adding to the puzzle, the noose didn't even have blood on it, despite Epstein's neck having been injured. The surveillance cameras, which could have given us a clearer picture of what went down that fateful night, were conveniently malfunctioning. So we're left with more questions than answers. You might be asking yourself, why does it matter? Well, Epstein had ties to many powerful individuals, and he was about to stand trial for serious crimes. His death silenced potential revelations that could have shaken the very foundations of power. These irregularities surrounding Epstein's death are not just coincidences. They are inconsistencies that hint at something more sinister. They beg us to question, to doubt, and to seek the truth. These inconsistencies surely breed doubt, don't they? Don't? An island cloaked in secrecy. What really happened on Epstein's private island? As we delve deeper into this enigma, we find ourselves on the shores of Little St. James, a private island nestled in the Caribbean, owned by none other than Jeffrey Epstein himself. This island, often referred to as Pedophile Island or Orgy Island by the locals, has been the epicenter of many of Epstein's alleged illicit activities. Imagine this, a 78-acre island, complete with a mansion, swimming pools, and even a bizarre blue-striped temple-like structure. An oasis for the rich and powerful, a paradise for the elite where they could indulge in their darkest desires, far from the prying eyes of society. Stories of parties filled with underage girls, the rich, the famous, the influential. A place where the rules of the outside world didn't apply. But what really happened here? Who were the guests that visited this island? And more importantly, why were they there? Reportedly, Epstein's private jet, dubbed the Lolita Express, would ferry guests to and from the island. Some of these guests were high-profile figures, from politicians to business tycoons to celebrities. Names like Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Kevin Spacey have all been linked to Epstein's island. What transpired on this island remains shrouded in mystery and speculation. The chilling tales of sexual exploitation and abuse that have emerged paint a horrifying picture. A paradise turned into a playground for the perverse. Yet the island holds more than just tales of debauchery. It's also said to be the hub of Epstein's vast financial operations, a complex web of offshore accounts, shell companies, and money transfers, all leading back to this island, the Island of Secrets, a fitting name indeed. The mysteries it holds, the secrets it has witnessed, all hidden beneath the veneer of a tropical paradise. It's a place where the boundaries of morality were blurred, where the rich and powerful could act with impunity. Could this island hold the key to the true nature of Epstein's operations? As we continue to unravel the Epstein Enigma, we can only hope to uncover the truth behind these walls of secrecy. But one thing is certain, the Island of Secrets is a chilling testament to the depths of Epstein's depravity. So many questions, so few answers. What is the truth behind the Epstein Affair? As we delve deeper into this labyrinth of intrigue, we find ourselves at the heart of a mystery that seems to be constantly evolving, always one step ahead of our understanding. The Epstein Affair, a web of power, privilege, and dark secrets, leaves us with more questions than answers. Let's recap what we've discovered thus far. Epstein, a financier of questionable repute, had a network that reached into the highest echelons of power. His private island, a seeming paradise, hid secrets that are just beginning to see the light of day. Then, the sudden end in a jail cell, shrouded in a cloak of doubt and suspicion. The main question that looms large over all these revelations is this: was Epstein's death a suicide, or a cover-up for something bigger? Did he take his own life, or was he silenced to prevent a cascade of damning revelations? While the official narrative points to suicide, skeptics argue that the circumstances surrounding his death are too convenient, too suspicious. The broken security cameras, the sleeping guards, the lack of a cellmate, the inconsistencies in the autopsy report. Each element seems to be a piece of a larger puzzle, a puzzle that could potentially expose a world of corruption and deceit. Is it possible that Epstein was just a pawn, a fall guy in a much larger game? Could his death be the perfect smokescreen, a distraction from the real players and the true extent of their power? As we continue to dig deeper, the plot thickens. Each revelation leads to another question. Each answer uncovers another layer of mystery. The Epstein affair is like a Russian nesting doll, each piece hiding another within. In the end, the Epstein affair remains a mystery, a puzzle with pieces yet to be found. But one thing is clear: this enigma is far from over, and the truth, whatever it may be, has a way of revealing itself. All we can do is watch, wait, and wonder.